Africa has signed several agreements with a number of countries during the 15th BRICS Summit that ended yesterday. One of these is with China agreeing to help the country resolve its energy crisis. It's also agreed to lift the ban on imports of South African beef and avocados. Now, let's discuss some of these agreements and how they benefit, especially small and medium enterprises in our country. I'm joined by Matabane. He's the CEO of the Black Business Council, the BBC. Matabane, good afternoon. Welcome to today, and thank you very much for your time. You were one of those voices ahead of this BRICS Summit who said that there would be spin-offs, huge spin-offs from this gathering, that there'll be multiple spin-offs. Were you happy with what came out? Any disappointments at all?
Good afternoon, Brother, and the viewers. Firstly, we would like to, as the Black Business Council, we would like to congratulate President Ramaphosa, his cabinet, and all the other people who have been involved in hosting this summit. We think the summit has been very successful, and President Ramaphosa played a very crucial role in making sure that the international relations and the balancing of the act between BRICS and the West has been successful. So we would just like to congratulate him. I think it makes South Africa very proud of what has been achieved. Coming to your question, there are a lot of agreements that were signed by various state institutions, including government itself, government-to-government agreements, and we were engaging with those agreements as we speak. Remember, we're also represented at the BRICS Business Council and the BRICS Women Alliance as well. And our members are already in those institutions, and they are engaging with this type of arrangement to then see how then do we take them even further down to people on the ground. For example, at Kganki States, there were like 200 businesses that were exhibiting, and the majority of them were small businesses, women-owned businesses and youth-owned businesses, because we saw that thing as a platform for South African products to be displayed for BRICS Business Council members, BRICS business members to come and see how they then partner with us.
Okay. What opportunities do you think will be unwrapped for your members as the Black Business Council, particularly small and medium enterprises? So where do you see these opportunities at a high level?
Yeah, there are opportunities, for example, on skills development. That's one of them. But there are also opportunities of, as you may have even have had the president of China last night saying that they want to assist us industrialize. And this is what we've been calling for, to say we are the biggest consumer of something like ARV medication, but why are we not producing that here in South Africa or even somewhere in the continent? Because we're supposed to also work with the continent as part of the African Continental Free Trade Area. There are also opportunities. For example, one of our members who's a chairperson of what we call is IORA Business Forum. They've signed some ICT business arrangement where they'll be working with the business people from China. So there are a lot of those type of spin-offs that have been signed that we need then to package properly, so that we're not seen to be leaving any other person who's got interest in them behind. So once the dust is settled, which should be in the next 2 weeks, we're going to then call members and even non-members, call them and say, these are the opportunities that have been signed. This is how we think you can participate. And then let's get the ball rolling.
Yeah. How are you as the BBC going to ensure that the benefit of these deals actually comes to black business in this particular instance, and it's not just talking and then there's red tapes and things like that?
Yes, that is what we are guarding against, because we've been here before, and we can't be beaten again by the same challenge. So through our serious and high involvement at the BRICS Business Council, because most of the deals will be signed at that level. We are engaging with government because some of the deals were signed as government-to-government type of arrangements. But the BRICS Business Council is got the BBC leaders there who are making sure that everything else that has been signed then will have to come down to our members. Also at the BRICS Women Alliance, the chairperson of South Africa is a BBC member, so she has been already involving a lot of women in the negotiations of these deals. But from where we are sitting, we are going to monitor this and make sure that, as promised, all these benefits then come down to members who are on the ground.
Yeah, you've mentioned industrialization promise by China. What would you as BBC hope to get from the other new members who've been added? You know, we've got 6 more members coming come January who are going to be part of BRICS. This BRICS Plus will bring on board Argentina, Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates.
Yes, we've already been engaging with some of them. Like, for example, United Arab Emirates, already been engaging with them. They're importing a lot of agricultural products. So we've been connecting them with our members who are in agriculture. So it won't be a new thing that we are starting now. We will then look at other BRICS Plus members who are going to join in January to see what are the opportunities.
Yeah, but now overall at a political level, you mentioned something in your very first answer about when you said you congratulate the president and government for hosting this, and that is creating a balance in terms of the power that the West and the hegemony that the Western world, particularly America, has had in the world in terms of global economic politics. Are you looking at BRICS beyond business for yourselves to see that it will craft a new global order?
Yes, I think that's why we're congratulating the president, because what he did is called walking on eggs, but making sure that we don't break those eggs. And when you look at for example, BRICS Plus members, they will be constituting 45% of the total world population. That will then tell you that from a market access point of view, because those 45% of the world population are potential customers, which then tells you that even if BRICS members themselves do business amongst themselves, there are huge opportunities. But also, when you look at the geopolitics, this tells you that the BRICS is the future. So you don't want to be left behind something that is going to happen in the future that is very exciting. But also at the same time, because we're doing business with the North, or what is called the West, you still need to have a relationship with the West, because when you look at the people who are doing business with South Africa, for example, number 1 is China, number 2 is America, the USA, number 3 is Germany. So you still need to maintain relationships with those countries.
It's going to be a very fine balance. It's going to be a very fine balance. I like your analogy there of that the president had to walk on eggs without cracking any of them to form a scrambled egg, but it's all looking good so far. Kganki, we'll keep in touch as you unpack, as you said, after 2 weeks, the dust settles, you're busy unpacking where the opportunities will be. We'll touch base again with you, the Black Business Council. Thank you very much. That's the CEO of South Africa's Black Business Council, Kganki Matabane, just sharing with us some of their views about how successful the 15th BRICS Summit was in terms of opening up new markets and through these new deals that have been signed by South Africa's government and the various other governments. So let's see if the future will indeed be as rosy as they are hoping it will be business-wise.